Urgent Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Pittsburgh Steelers updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey, Steelers Nation! Today, we've got some electrifying news that could change the course of this upcoming season. It's the kind of development that has fans buzzing, analysts speculating, and the entire NFL landscape watching closely. We're talking about the possibility of Aaron Rodgers donning the black and gold. Yes, you heard it right. The legendary quarterback who's been a superstar for years with the Green Bay Packers and, more recently, with the New York Jets, might be making his way to Pittsburgh. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, this sounds almost too good to be true, but trust me, the signs are pointing strongly in that direction. Over the past few weeks, the NFL rumor mill has been heating up, and the whispers about Rodgers' future destination have become louder. Especially after a pretty decent showing last season with the Jets, Rodgers has proven he's still got it. And let's be honest, any team looking to make a serious playoff push this year would love to have a veteran of his caliber in their backfield. The Steelers, in particular, seem to be at the center of this potential blockbuster move. Why? Well, on paper, and even more so on the field, the fit just makes sense. Pittsburgh has been searching for a franchise quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger retired, and while Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, and the rest have shown flashes, they haven't quite reached that elite level yet. Think about it. The Steelers are a team with a storied history, a passionate fan base, and a roster that's built to contend. But without a true superstar at quarterback, they've been missing that extra spark that can propel them deep into the playoffs. Rodgers, with his experience, leadership, and football IQ, could serve as that bridge, and maybe even more. Sure, the plan might be for him to be a short-term solution, perhaps a year or two, but in the NFL, a quarterback like Rodgers can elevate everyone around him. And with the Steelers' solid defense, a strong running game, and some promising offensive weapons, especially a healthy George Pickens, the potential for a quick turnaround is right there on the horizon. Now, speaking of George Pickens, this is where things get even more interesting. The recent draft decisions by the Steelers send some pretty clear signals. They opted not to draft a quarterback in the early rounds, something that might have been expected if they weren't considering a big splash at the position. Instead, they picked Will Howard out of Ohio State late in the draft, a move that indicates they are still in the process of developing their young talent. But what really stands out is that they didn't trade away George Pickens, the talented but somewhat polarizing wide receiver from Alabama. That's significant. It shows that the team still believes in competing at the highest level, and that they're not ready to blow things up or rebuild completely. And why is this important? Because if they're serious about contending, adding a quarterback of Rodgers' stature makes perfect sense. It's a move that could satisfy the fans, boost the team's chances, and maybe even keep some of the younger players motivated and aligned with the team's goals. Pickens, who has been vocal about his aspirations and his frustrations at times, seems to be on board with this idea. From what we've seen and heard, he's willing to play alongside Rodgers, knowing that this could be the big piece that finally gets the Steelers back to their winning ways. Now, let's back up a little and take a broader look at what this means for Pittsburgh and the league. The Steelers have always been known for their tough, resilient style of play, defense first, a balanced attack, and a quarterback who leads by example. But in recent years, they've lacked that superstar at the helm to take them over the top. The last few seasons have been a roller coaster, with ups and downs, injuries, and a roster that's often been close but not quite enough to break through. The arrival of Rodgers could be that missing puzzle piece, providing not only talent but also leadership, experience, and a winning mentality that can rub off on the entire team. Let's not forget the historical context here. Pittsburgh has a proud tradition of acquiring game-changing quarterbacks. Think about how Terry Bradshaw led the Steelers to 4 Super Bowl titles in the 1970s, or how Ben Roethlisberger became one of the franchise's all-time greats. Rodgers, with his multiple MVP awards and a Super Bowl victory under his belt, would fit right into that legacy. And, as most insiders are saying, the signs are pointing toward a deal. The fact that the team didn't make any radical moves in the draft, didn't trade away key players like Pickens, and the comments from Art Rooney too and others indicate a serious interest in making this happen. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet. There are still hurdles, negotiations, and questions about compensation, contract details, and timing. But if recent reports are correct, and Rodgers does sign with the Steelers after their draft decisions, it could be the beginning of a new chapter for the franchise. Imagine the excitement of Steelers fans, seeing a future Hall of Famer in the black and gold, leading the team into battle. It's a storyline that writes itself, comeback stories, late career glory, and the chance to chase that elusive sixth Super Bowl ring. Now, what about the current roster and how Rodgers would fit in? Well, Pittsburgh's offensive line has been solid, and with Najee Harris and a young offensive line, they're capable of establishing a balanced attack. Rodgers, known for his quick release and ability to extend plays, could unlock new levels of offensive creativity. Plus, with talented receivers like George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, and Pat Freiermuth, he'd have plenty of options to work with. The key will be how quickly he can learn the offense and build chemistry with these weapons, but given his football intelligence, that should be very achievable. And defensively, the Steelers are always competitive. They have a stout front seven, led by T.J. Watt, one of the best pass rushers in the league, and a secondary that can be opportunistic. Adding Rodgers to an already tough team could turn the Steelers into a serious contender in the AFC once again. This team has that classic Steelers grit and an added spark of star power at quarterback. It's a combination that could make a lot of fans believe in a deep playoff run, maybe even a return to the Super Bowl. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the risks. Bringing in a veteran like Rodgers isn't without its challenges. The cost could be high, and there's always the question of how well he'll mesh with the team's culture and playbook. But if the Steelers are serious about winning now, they're probably willing to take that chance. And with the current NFL landscape, where parity is the name of the game, every advantage counts. Having a quarterback like Rodgers could be just what they need to tip the scales in their favor. Before we wrap up, I want to highlight what this means for the league. The NFL is always full of surprises, and a move like this would shake up the AFC. The Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, and Cincinnati Bengals have been dominant forces lately, but with Rodgers in Pittsburgh, the landscape could shift dramatically. It's the kind of move that energizes the fan base, increases ticket sales, and makes every game more exciting to watch. Plus, it sends a message to the rest of the league that the Steelers are serious about competing for titles now, not just building for the future. And let's not forget, the NFL is a league of moments and stories. A quarterback like Rodgers, with his legendary career and competitive fire, could provide some of those iconic moments in Pittsburgh. Think about the possibility of him leading a comeback in the fourth quarter, connecting with Pickens on a game-winning pass, or orchestrating a masterful drive that keeps the Steelers in the hunt deep into January. That's what NFL fans live for, and it's exactly what this potential signing could bring. So, as we await official confirmation, it's clear that the Steelers are at a crossroads, and the direction they choose could define the upcoming era. Will they bring in Rodgers to be their franchise savior for at least a couple of seasons? Will this move help them finally get over the hump and contend for another Super Bowl? Only time will tell, but all signs point toward a very exciting future. The passion, the drama, the possibility, everything is aligning for what could be a defining moment in Steelers history. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe Aaron Rodgers will wear the black and gold? Are you excited about the potential of this move, or do you think there are risks involved? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers' future. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates, analysis, and inside info on everything Steelers. So, stay tuned, stay loud, and let's keep the excitement alive as we watch this incredible story unfold. The Steelers' journey is far from over, and with a little bit of magic, it might just be about to take a giant leap forward.